Welcome back to the London vlog. Sure feels great being able to say that. It's been a while. But before you get too excited, I'm only in London for a few days, but I thought I'd make the most of it anyway. Brought the camera along, of course, and can't wait to start this photographic journey again together with you guys in the town where the photography journey all happened, right here in London. Bet you recognize this building, I sure do, and I can't wait to get the camera out and get snapping. It's actually near Christmas time, so all the city is full of Christmas decorations, which is also my favorite time to photograph London, and yeah, put my own spin on it. So let's head to location number 1. Made it to Leadenhall Market, which always has a beautiful Christmas tree, and it's a little gem tucked away in the city of London between all the skyscrapers. It just got this really old, beautiful, stunning market, and they always put up a great Christmas tree, which is just there. And yeah, the interior architecture of this old building is absolutely stunning, and it's actually best captured with a wide angle lens. So that's what I'm going to set up. This is the Nisi 15mm I'm going to be using, and that's a lens I didn't have at the time when I was living in London. So it's actually great for me to use a new lens on a location I've photographed before, because then I can make new photos that I haven't been able to do in the past. So let's see if we can turn that plan into reality. So here's the technicalities of the photo. I guess with this vast space and all the incredible details, a wide angle lens is absolutely key, because in this case more is more, and you want to fit a lot in your frame. Especially all these details on the ceiling are absolutely beautiful, as well as in the walls, and yeah, it's just a great location for that. And as I had already mentioned, using the Nisi 15mm, I'm at f8 and ISO 100, left me with like a shutter speed of 1.6 seconds. That's why the tripod's also key. To allow for longer shutter speeds of 1 second and above, you just absolutely need a tripod, because it's already getting quite dark, so you really need some longer exposure times here. And then I find the tripod also helps me just tune in the spirit level and just get the photo really leveled, because with architecture photography, which essentially the shot really is, with all the building being the main bit of the picture, a tripod can just be great to really fine-tune your photo and make it perfectly level and get the composition just right. So that's my monologue, but do you want to see the final photo? Here it is. Fantastic location for Christmas lights is Selfridges. Closest station is Bond Street, and this is on Oxford Street. In the past years, the messaging was a lot more festive, but now it says let's change the way we shop, which I guess sustainability is also a very worthwhile message, and still makes for a very cool photo to have that slogan in your photo. One recommendation I would make is, since you're on Oxford Street, I would wait for a London black cab, just like this one right here, or a London red bus to drive past as well. Just completes that London look in your photo, and you can walk away with a really cool photo. So if you want to see my take on it, here it is. The other main attraction on Oxford Street during Christmas is Oxford Street's lights themselves, and that's these here. They change every year, and this year I think they look especially stunning. I love all the fairy lights, as well as the yellow stars just dangling from them. It really is perfect, but in order to really complete the photo, again I'd recommend, since you're on Oxford Street, wait for those red buses or black cabs to come by. They really give you that London look and complete the photo. Photos, well, from a technical perspective, I've actually moved away from the wide angle lenses to a 50mm, 55mm prime. And that's got two reasons. One is it's an f1.4 lens, which is just great for this low light photography, right? Look, it's getting dark, and you really need to get all the light in the camera you can. So f1.4 aperture is really good for that. And the other reason is, as opposed to wide angle lenses, telephoto lenses or medium lenses at least compress the photo a lot more. So the Christmas lights in the background compress and look a lot more dense, and just look like there's a lot more Christmas lights in the streets, which I feel is just a better look all around. So without further ado, do you want to see the photo that came out of this camera? Here it is. opportunity at Christmas is South Molton Street, and I think it's pretty obvious why. You've got blue Christmas lights everywhere, even a Christmas tree, and then these arches back here are also fantastic. The only difficulty of getting the shot is it's very popular and a very popular selfie location, so people love posing with these arches or this tree, so to get a clean shot in the early evening is almost impossible, but with a bit of patience it can be pulled off, and I'll talk you through my composition. I used this telephone box as a foreground element, and the blue lights as a background element, and I tried to complicate the shot a little bit further by really getting the focus on the phone box and leaving the blue lights out of focus, which is also kind of the case right now because the camera is focusing on my face and not the lights, and that makes them all blurry and dreamy, which I think is a really pleasing effect rather than having these lights pin sharp as well. And in order to amplify that effect even further, I opted for the Nisi Black Mist 1/4 filter, which makes direct light sources just a bit more glowy and dreamy and foggy. So I just bought that filter really recently, so I can't really tell you if it's great or not, but that's me experimenting with it for the first time. But I'll let you be the judge. If the filter makes a good job, here it is. Over to Bond Street, which is famous for its peacock feather Christmas lights. I find these really classy and stunning, and yeah, just exploring the Nisi Black Mist filter a little bit further, and the effect really is showing. It really is a cool effect for this time of year. Night shots, headlights of cars, everything looking misty and glowy, and I think it's money well worth spent on the filter. The final conclusion I can really make when I started editing these photos, but what I'm seeing on the back of the camera looks fantastic, so yeah. Have you ever tried a black mist filter, or what are your favorite special effects filters when it comes to photography? I'd love to get your take on them. Let me know in the comments below. But as far as these photos go, here's my photo, and I'd love to get your feedback as always in the comments below. Here it is. Just walk around in London for hours and just drift away and take everything impromptu, and that's kind of what I've been doing. There was no set plan for this afternoon, and I've actually found myself in Trafalgar Square, which is home to one of London's most tallest Christmas trees. It's this one right here, and it's actually always quite a controversial one because it's skinny and not seen as a very beautiful tree. But that also comes across as very ungrateful, because every year the country of Norway sends this Christmas tree all the way to Britain as a gift to say thank you for all their efforts during World War II. So to say it's ugly and is kind of ungrateful in my opinion, but I'm not ungrateful about it. I think it looks cool, and I'm going to try and make the best of it from a photographic perspective. And one of the easiest photos to do here in Trafalgar Square is to come to one of these beautiful fountains, get really up and close, and then you can get the reflection right here of the Christmas tree. Now, one thing to bear in mind when photographing reflections is the lower you get to the water, the stronger the reflection will be in your shot. So that's what I'm going to set up, and I've actually brought along a tabletop tripod, which I'm going to be placing on the edge of the fountain. That allows me to get the camera really close to the water, and that makes for the best picture quality. And again, bear in mind, this is a night photo, so we want to do some long exposures, which has the second benefit, because when you long expose, the water ripples become very still, and you have that mirror effect on the fountain, which is also a very pleasing effect. So that's my expectation, but let's try to turn that into reality. There's such an abrupt change in scenery, I had to rush for the train, and that also brings an end to this vlog. But I'm around in London for a few more days still, and there's lots of Christmas lights and various other locations I still want to photograph, and I'd be delighted if you'd join me in a future video. So to not miss out on any of the action, I'd recommend to hit that subscribe button below, and I can't wait to see you in a future video. Good night for now.